Hello and welcome to the Piney Stitcher. My name is Amanda and this is a channel mostly dedicated to cross stitch. So if that is something you like to hear about, then please consider giving a subscribe and like. It really means a lot to me. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna kind of start off talking about what's been going on the last 2 weeks. So this is actually the second time I've tried to do this video. The first time I got it filmed, I got it edited, and I spent from Wednesday until today, which is Friday, trying to upload it, and every time I would, I'd get an error message or it would just say uploading 100%. And so I got super frustrated, deleted the video, didn't even try to see if it was the video or if it was YouTube. I just deleted it. I was over it. And so now here we are for part 2 of trying to figure out, film this video. So that's been frustrating. I mean, I had like a 30-minute video. I was so sad because it took me forever to edit it. But the last 2 weeks we had a bounce house. Not this past Tuesday, but the last Tuesday for my daughter. For no reason at all. We just had some friends over and they came over. We bounced all day long. They came over in the morning time before nap. We got them all wore out and then they went home, took naps, and came right back over when they woke up, just ready to go, and bounced them out until it was getting dark and they, had to go lay down and go to bed. So the parents loved it. And then they were supposed to come pick it up on Wednesday and, sorry, excuse me, and they never did. So I called them around like 2 and I was like, hey, are you guys gonna come pick this up? Because if not, I don't want to be charged for a second day. And they told me that somebody had ran into the awnings in the Chick-fil-A parking lot and they were there fixing them. And so it would probably be, the next day before they could come and pick it up. And I was like, sweet, we got a whole other day of bounce house. And then they didn't come pick it up on Thursday until around like 1:30. So we got 2.5 days of bounce house, which was nice because it kept my kid like wore out, for bedtime, and that was nice. And then Monday, my father-in-law went and had surgery on his shoulder. Back in January, he had a shoulder surgery and something went wrong and caused a bunch of nerve damage in his hand. And so he couldn't do this, didn't really have any feeling or use in his hand. And he went to a specialist on Monday and they fixed it. Hopefully he can now, touch some of his fingers together, which is, good news. And it's his dominant hand. So it really interferes with his work and, playing with my daughter, and so we're really glad that that is getting taken care of. And then this last Tuesday I went to the dentist and I had like a little bit of pain back here, and it wasn't anything like super painful, it was just like a little annoyance. And I went and they're like, there's nothing wrong, there's nothing back there that should cause you any pain. We don't understand why, we don't see anything that would cause you any pain. But they did find something else on this upper side, and so they're going to go ahead and fix that next Tuesday. And I know a lot of people don't like going to the dentist. I have no problem going to the dentist. I'd rather go to the dentist than go to my regular doctor any day. It does not, the shots don't bother me, and I just don't mind it. I just put in headphones and zone out, and we're good to go. And it's not a big deal. So that's all that's been going on this week. Tonight I'm going with my friend from work where I used to work, and we're gonna go have frozen wineritas, and I'm really excited. I haven't had one in 2 months now, and it's Texas and it's hot, so it's the perfect time for a winerita. So that's all I've got going on this week. And I think what I'm going to do for future uploads is do a 2-week period, just so I have some substance to show you. There's been a few days we've been really busy these last couple weeks, and so I haven't gotten a ton of stitching done, and it just didn't seem right to post a weekly video because there really wasn't, a whole bunch to show you. And I think this way there'll be more to show you. It'll be, more progress and more exciting news. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get into finishes. So I did manage to get a finish this week. It is the Hometown Holidays Post Office by Little House Needleworks, and I'll go ahead and show it to you. Here it is. And I was really excited to get this one done. It kind of became my focus piece once I got a big chunk of it done. I didn't want to put it down because it was so close, and I was like, well, if I can just knock it out, I'll just get all my stitches done now, I'll knock it out, and then it'll be ready to be fully finished. And so that was exciting. I think it took me about 3 solid days of stitching to get it completely finished. I know one day I took it with me to get my oil changed, and here in Texas you can sit in your car while they change your oil, so I had to sit in line while I was waiting to even get my oil changed in my car. So I was stitching in my car the whole time, and I had to sit there for an hour just in line for an hour, and there's only 2 cars in front of me. I don't know why it took so long. And then, you know, we had to sit in our car, and you turn it off. You have to turn it off when they change oil, so it was getting hot. I had my kid in the back seat, and I was like, I did not think this through. I should have gone in the morning because I went, you know, late in the day. But I still got a good hour of stitching in, waiting to get my oil changed. And so after that, I was so close, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get it finished. And so I finished it on this past Tuesday. I haven't decided how I'm gonna fully finish it. I'm going back and forth between just having it framed or turning it into a decorative pillow. I have a spoon collection, you know, like the little tiny spoon collections. And one of them has like a little mail slot holder, and there's a little, you know, knob on it that you could hang stuff on. And I was thinking, since that's a small piece, I could turn it into a little pillow and hang it over there, because that's where I put all of my outgoing mail. And I thought that would be pretty cute. The only problem is I'm not very good at sewing. I have a friend, her name is Ashley, who lives in Springfield, and she offered to sew it for me and then just ship it back, which normally I'd be like all down for, but I would feel bad sending her something and then her having to ship something bigger back. So we'll see. So let me know in the comments down below, should I frame it and just hang it on the wall, or should I turn it into a pillow and just wing it and see how it goes? I can sew, I'm just not that great at, like, I know how to do most of it, and when you leave the gap, that sewing up that gap is the part I'm terrified of, because I want it to look nice. This is my first finish for myself that I've stitched for myself, you know, because I wanted to and I liked it. So it's got some sentimental value to it, and so I want it to come out nice. So like I said, let me know in the comments down below, and maybe give me some ideas on other ways I could finish it. If you think something else might be better, I'm always open to suggestions. And with that, I think we are going to go into what I guess you would call a saved stitch. So a month ago, or maybe a little bit longer, I was visiting my grandma who lives in San Antonio, and she is a very crafty lady. She can quilt, she makes beautiful quilts. She can crochet, she crochets blankets and all sorts of things, or used to. She paints, and one of the things that she painted a lot growing up were like festive sweaters, so like Christmas sweaters, Halloween sweaters, fall ones. I've got a couple of them that you'll probably see me wearing once it gets a little colder. And she also did some embroidery, and last time I was there, they were remodeling, because in February when we had that storm, all of the their pipes in their roof and their ceiling busted, and so they had to get their whole entire like ceiling and roof fixed. And so she took down all of her spoons, which is why I have them now, because I've always wanted them. And she said, well, I'm not putting them back up, so, you know, here are your spoons. But she also had a bunch of like old sweaters and stuff that she was going to give to Goodwill. I guess she just decided, well, I'm having to move around these things to make room while they remodel, that she was cleaning house, I guess, and getting rid of some stuff. And she said, hey, do you want to look through this bag? It's just probably going to go to Goodwill, or it's going to get thrown away. So just, you know, let me know. Just take whatever you want. And so I was digging through there, and I found this shirt. I'm going to show you. It's an old shirt. She said she did it in about somewhere in the early 90s, before I was born. I was born in 92, so it had to have been like late 90s, early 90s, late 80s. But this is the back. Let's see. And I mean, it's just so, like, the colors are still vibrant, and this was done, you know, almost 30 years ago. So there's like the side of it coming out of the pocket, those cute flowers, and then the collar. It's so beautiful, and I could not believe that she was going to throw this out or give it away. And I was like, absolutely not. I will take it. And it fits. It mostly fits. It's a little small, but we can have goals, right? But it's just so beautiful. And I mean, I love the little detail on the pockets too. It's just got like a little tiny, but she said, you know, it was just sitting in her closet and never got really worn much after. I guess it fell out of style. I don't know. But so this is my saved stitch. I guess I'm assuming that's what you would call it. And I'm a sentimental person, and so I will hang on to that forever. As soon as it starts getting cooler, I'm gonna wear it. And you know, who cares if it's not in style? As long as it makes me happy, you know, might as well, you know, wear it. And I'm not afraid to do me. So but yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And let me know like what you think about it, or if it's something that you would wear, because as soon as it cools off, I'm rocking that thing, and I'll probably wear it in a video. So yeah, let me know about that. And I think it's time to get into whips. Okay, so our first whip is the Bayou Tapestry by RolandDesigns, and this is where I am. And I'm going to post a picture right here of what it is supposed to look like. And then I'll also post right here what it looked like last time. If I have one, I think I do, it's in black and white, and it'll go right there. But you can kind of see right here, I had the silhouette, like start of the silhouette done. And then I realized I was one stitch off. And so I took it all out, and I was so upset. My husband was like, isn't there a way just to hide it? And I'm like, well, no, because I'm off one. And I mean, I probably could have, but I was so frustrated. I just ripped it out. And I had a line, this line down here at the bottom, I knew was correct, because when I was doing it, I counted it like 10 times to make sure. And so I was like, I'm just going to work up. That way I know it's right. And I'm very much I guess a like proximity stitcher is what, I guess that's what I'd call it. Because I don't grid, and so I kind of just go like what's closest to what. That way I have less likely of a chance to mess it up. And so I was like, there's only like one stitch from here, so that's kind of where I started. It's going really well. I'm still enjoying stitching this. This is going to be a gift for my brother-in-law, Tyler. He's the only person I haven't stitched anything for, so he's getting that. He picked it out. The only thing I'm not really enjoying is not being able to go like all one way and then all back one way, because it's variegated, and that just makes it go a little slower to me. And I've also been really enjoying stitching in hand, and I'm trying to, I haven't tried stitching that in hand yet, but I might give it a go, and we'll see how it goes. Everything else though, I'm enjoying it. It's still in the rotation. I'm gonna, fingers crossed, try to get it done by Christmas. It'd be really nice if I got it done by their wedding, which is in September, but we're already in August and I'm not even, I don't know. I think that's kind of a far stretch, but we'll see. I might try to make that a focus maybe for a full week and see how far I get, but we'll see. The next whip I have is my Sunset by 2x2 Arts on Etsy, and I will go ahead and post a picture of what it's supposed to look like and what it looked like last time. And then here's what it looks like now. So this is where I'm at. This was a week of mistakes for me. Somewhere in here going this way, I am off one. And I tried to fix it, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm off one, then I should just add, because there's like one extra or one less. But anyway, so I added a stitch, and I was like, okay, it'll be fine. Or I just like left out a stitch in the next color. That did not work. And then I was like, okay, well, I've just decided I'm just going to ignore it. I've counted and tried to figure out where it's wrong. I think I've kind of found it, but it's just, I can't, the way that it is the hoop is going to overlap the pattern anyway. And it's just clouds. It doesn't look like it's going to mess up it's not going to mess up the silhouette of the tree, and it's not going to mess up the silhouette of the people. And so I'm not going to mess with it. It is what it is. No one's gonna know. And then once it's just gonna be off one stitch on this side, and it's not gonna matter. So yeah, and I was so upset when I noticed it that I had to put it down, and that's why there's really not a whole lot of work into it, because I have said it before and I'll say it again: if it's not making you happy, don't do it. And this one at the time was not making me happy anymore. I'll probably pick it up this week again, and we'll just, just pretend like it doesn't exist, that little issue, and it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine, and I'm sure that's something that a lot of cross stitchers go through, and they're just like, well, it is what it is. If I frogged every little mistake I made, I'd be stitching on something forever. So that's where I'm at on that one. Oh, sorry about that noise. And then the only other whip I have is a new start that I got out of the Gift of Stitching magazine. It's issue 71, and the pattern starts on page 11, and it is called Forget Me Not, and it is by Beth Twist. And I just love, it's a small little pattern, not too much going on, yeah, and I'll make sure to add a picture of what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, and so the pattern calls for weeks dye works. I don't have any fancy floss. I'm a stay-at-home mom on a budget, and I would rather spend the money on patterns and like finishing than fancier floss. DMC seems to work just fine, so I'm not too worried about it. So I went online and looked at the conversion for the Weeks Dye Works to DMC, and the ones that I did have a conversion for, I'd used that one, and I think there was two colors. The blue, like the light blue color, I did not have, and so I just found kind of like a good light bluish teal color, because it was like a teal frost or something was the name of the Weeks Dye Works color, so I figured some tealy color would work. And then there was like there's a gold color in here. This one I didn't have, and I'm pretty sure the only ones that are the good conversion is the blue for the letters, and then this dark green color, which was called Avocado. So, but it is stitching up so fast. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm hoping I could probably knock this one out in like a good, you know, 2 or 3 hour stitching time. And then I did want to say I made this little needle minder myself. It says "Do Good" on it, and let's see if I can. It says "Do Good" on it. I had like a bunch of these little wooden embellishments that I use in like junk journaling and stuff, and I was like, I could slap a magnet on there and call it a day. I am stitching this one in hand, and so it's really just to hold my needle when it's, you know, when I'm not working on it. And I found that I'm really enjoying working in hand, so needle minders are becoming less and less of an importance for me, because I mean, I don't know that why I would need one if I'm holding everything. So, but so that is that. And so now I would like to talk about some happy mail that I received. 2 weeks ago, I won a pattern from Priscilla and Chelsea from the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. And I was super excited because I've never won anything before, so that was super exciting. And it was actually the pattern that I wanted the most that I won, and it is Pumpkin Pickin' Day. Oh, sorry about that glare. And I've never stitched on Black Ada before, so I'm a little nervous about that. I've kind of started kitting it up. I pulled all of the DMC conversions that I had on hand in my little project bag that's gonna go in. I haven't made it to Hobby Lobby to get the rest of it yet, and my Hobby Lobby is out of 18 count Black Ada, and like the highest count that they had in stock was like 14, and I did not want to stitch this on 14. I mean, I guess I could, because it calls for a 28 count black even weave, but we'll see if that's all that they have. The next town over is about 30 minutes away, and they have a Hobby Lobby, and if they have like an 18 count in black, I might do that. Otherwise, the next closest town is Tyler, and that's an hour and a half away, and I don't know how to justify driving an hour and a half just to get some Ada. But we'll see. Although I did see that Joann's now has anchor floss on the spools at the Joann's, and they do have a Joann's in Tyler, and I kind of want to check that out. And because I like the idea of it being on a spool already and not having to bobbinate. Like, if I didn't have to bobbinate, I'd be a happy camper. Actually, and there's a Joann's in Shreveport, Louisiana, which is about an hour and a half away too. So I've got like those two options. But living in a small rural town where there's not a lot of options, you just kind of get what you get and deal with it. Now I'm going to go into plans. And so far, I don't have a lot of plans. I know a lot of people are doing like arbitrary August, and that sounds like a great idea, but I've got 3 whips right now. That's all I've got. I mean, I do have my labyrinth piece, and I didn't show that today because I didn't work on it. It got really boring, and I was just not wanting to stitch it. And then I also have my sampler, which I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna UFO it, because I hate it. I hate it. Every time I would spin the wheel for my tiny decision maker, I would skip it. And if you're not happy, don't do it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that like away right now. And if I don't touch it in the next 3 months, I'm just either one, I'm going to find it a new home and send it to somebody who wants to finish it, and I'll give them a list of the DMC colors that I used and the pattern, and you know, do what you want with it or don't. Or I'm just going to toss it because it's not going to get worked on. So we will see when the time comes. I will put out a poll, and if anybody's interested in taking it over if I haven't touched it, then you know, I'll give it away to somebody at random, and that'll be that. Speaking of giveaways, since I finished my post office piece, I'm never gonna restitch that again. So I'm thinking once I get to 100 followers, which I know is not like a huge deal to most people, but to me I feel like that's a big deal. There's so many great the Flosstubers, and 100 people decided that they wanted to sit here and listen to me ramble on about what I'm doing, then, you know, yay me. So at 100 subscribers, I will be giving away my pattern to my Hometown Holidays post office. It doesn't, like the actual chart, there's no markings on it, but there is some, like, where I've highlighted, when I got it, I highlighted what colors that I already had, and there was only 3. So, but everything's readable. There's nothing, like, wrong with it. So that's what I'm going to do at 100 subscribers. And hopefully it's before the holiday season, so you can get some stitching in and on it. So those are those plans. My other plans are, I'm going to start tracking how much actual time I spend on my projects, because I've heard a lot of people talk about it on Flosstube, and it's pretty intriguing. Like, I want to know, like, how much time I invest in every single one of my projects, and I'm just going to keep it in my my cross stitch journal that I got at Hobby Lobby. It's by the Happy Planner, and just to see, and then when I do my updates with y'all, I'll let you know, this is how much time I spent on it. And I think that's like a really good thing to know, just so I can be like, you know what, this is hard. You know, some people, and I'm sure all you Flosstubers and, you know, stitchers know, someone will come up to you, one of your friends will be like, oh, can you stitch this for me? Okay, well, can you stitch this for me by, like, Christmas? And it's like a full coverage piece, and you're like, there's no way that that's gonna get done. And they don't realize, like, how much time you put into something. You know, it's a time-consuming hobby, and, you know, I'd like to see, like, you know, how much time I've spent on everything. I also wanted to share with you some patterns that I have my eye on in Etsy that I've favorited. So one of the patterns that I have favorited in my Etsy shop, I actually found it through Jada Jabber's Flosstube video that she put up this week, and it is called The Butterfly Cloche by Hello by Liz Mathews. And as soon as she showed it on screen, I paused my video, went to Etsy, and favorited it. Like, it was like that. I love butterflies, and I think they're so pretty. So as soon as she showed that picture, I knew that that was a pattern that I wanted, and I went and favorited it. And I'm gonna go ahead and insert a picture right here, and you'll see it's beautiful. So thank you, Janet, for showing me that, or else I never would have known it existed. And then the other one that I saw was, it didn't really have a traditional title. It just said butterfly cross stitch, and it's by StitchingSpell, and it's just a bunch of butterflies. I'll put a picture of it right here. And so those are 2 that are favorited in my shop right now. If I feel the need to stitch some butterflies, those are kind of at the top of my list right now. I do not anticipate starting anything in the next 2 weeks. I say that, but the weekend's coming up, so, you know, I could decide that I want to start, you know, pumpkin picking day or something like that, and or break down and buy a butterfly cloche like today and kit it up today and start it today. But we'll see. Other than that, I don't have anything else. I will go ahead and list all of the patterns down below as well of you know, the ones that I favorited, the ones I showed. If I have like a link for them, I'll go ahead and do that. Other than that, have a great week, stay safe, and keep on stitching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.